Center right here in Brooklyn, New York. This is where P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, and Luigi Mangione is housed. This is a place where people are kept in federal custody pending trials. And as you know, the Luigi Mangione case has been heating up. Lately, it has been in the news, and today, I just recently, about 30 minutes ago, I left from down at the federal courthouse where the death penalty hearing was being held today for Luigi Mangione. Now, we were at the courthouse, so let this truck pass, and then we'll come back on screen. So earlier today, this morning at 11 o'clock, the trial or the court hearing for the Luigi Mangione death penalty case happened today, okay? So what happened in the court case is on January 9th, we were at the courthouse and the defense had made motions to suppress evidence in the case, and they were trying to get the death penalty charge taken off the table. Well, I can say that they were successful in getting the death penalty charge taken off the table for Luigi Mangione. Now, but it wasn't based on the motions that the defense had used to get the death penalty taken off of the case, off the table for Luigi Mangione. Now, the defense's contentions were that the police in Altoona, Pennsylvania, when they stopped Mangione, conducted an illegal search. Oh, the wind is blowing out here. Listen, guys, it is blistering cold. This morning when I woke up, it was I think it was 10 degrees down here in New York. But now I believe it's somewhere between 10 and 15. Huh? Yeah, I'm freezing, bro. I'm freezing. I'm gonna hurry up and do this video and leave. That's one of the correction officers here. He asked me, was I cold? So I am absolutely freezing. So the defense contention was that the Altoona police officers that stopped Mangione conducted an illegal search, and in that search they found a journal or a manifesto, if you will, that kind of gave a insight or picture of the motives for Mangione, exclusively saying that he had problems with the healthcare system and he had desired to assassinate a healthcare executive. And it's just how it happened to be that the healthcare executive was Brian Thompson of UnitedHealthcare, the corporation. Now, we have to say allegedly that he allegedly killed Brian Thompson, because in the United States of America, we go under presumed innocence. So a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And for you guys who just joined, we're here. This is the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where Sean P. Diddy Combs is currently held. President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela is currently held, and Luigi Mangione, who should be being shuttled back from the district courthouse where the court hearing was this morning. He's also held here. And these windows, these small windows, as you guys can see up there, they're probably looking out here wondering what I'm talking about. And if they got they have access to cell phones and all of that stuff in these jails. You see guys cooking food and all kind of stuff in the jail. So they're probably looking out here. You check out my YouTube channel, The Go TV, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But Mangione is probably being shuttled back here from the court trial today, or the court hearing today. So on January 9th, the defense came into the court and they said that Altoona police illegally searched Mangione. They went through his journals and they got other evidence from the journals, and they also found the gun illegal. Well, in America, if you stop someone and they're arrested, you can do a limited search of their property, and that's called search incident to arrest. Now, in Altoona, they had a policy that said to do an inventory search, and this is exactly what the officers did. And the defense was unsuccessful in getting that evidence suppressed. It's really cold out here. I think it may be below 10 degrees now, and it's cold. The wind is blowing, it's whipping, because right over here is the Hudson River right behind us. So, whoa, there we go. So it's really cold out here. I like to stay out here. I don't have a cameraman. I'm my own cameraman, and the wind, as you see, is blowing the camera around. So they were unsuccessful at getting that evidence suppressed. But what the judge did say is that I'm probably going to have to hold this. I'm probably going to have to hold this, guys. So let me just pick this up. What the judge did say is that stalking, the charges count 3 and 4 of stalking, did not amount to a crime of violence. It did not amount to a crime of violence. So therefore, it did not hold the weight to charge or Mangione with the death penalty case. So now, as of today, the judge gave the prosecution the opportunity to appeal her ruling if they so desired. But as for now, the capital murder charge is off the table for Mangione, which is a huge win for Mark Anifilo, his daughter, and the defense team, and definitely for Mangione. Now, for the UnitedHealthcare family, the CEO's family, and for the executives and the people who work at there, I'm sure they're not so happy about what transpired in court today. But again, it's a huge win for the Mangione family and also for the defense team. Now, the judge has ordered that the trial is going to start in September and, October, the delivering of evidence, the hearing of evidence, and that the jury selection will start roughly around September, okay? But the prosecution said that they wanted to have at least 1,000 questionnaires sent out for potential jurors in this case. The judge said that she thought that was a little bit overbearing in a non-capital murder case. Now, she said if the prosecution came back and appealed and it became a capital murder case, and that she would allow, it maybe 1,000 people would be reasonable. But for now, she thinks that 400 questionnaires going out to jurors is a reasonable amount of questionnaires to go out to see who they're going to select in this jury pool. So we're expected to start hearing evidence in October, the jury to be selected by September, and this case should maybe take no more than a month or so to be adjudicated. But one of the issues that came up is that the state, this case is being tried twice. It's being tried in the federal government, and is also being tried in the state of New York, so as a local case. And in the local case, the judge over there has scheduled the case to go for July, and the judge in the federal case says she can't worry about what the state case is doing. She can only charge this case as the only case that's in her mind, or her decision, that this is the only case, and she can't worry about what the state doing. If it comes to a crossroad where the cases are starting to intersect, and the defense can't prepare, or or the prosecution can't prepare because of the conflict and interest in the scheduling, then she'll make a decision on that then. But until then, we're on standby. But this case the federal case should come to a resolution by fall of next year. Now, here's another thing why I decided to come up to the Metropolitan Detention Center. And it's blistering cold out here. Yesterday, a man named Mark Anderson from Minnesota, 36-year-old man named Mark Anderson, came all the way from Minnesota right here to the Metropolitan Detention Center here in Brooklyn. And the reports are saying that he posed as an FBI agent, said that he had a signed court order for a judge for the release of Luigi Mangione. Now, initially, they were reluctant to say that the person that he was trying to get released was Mangione. They would only say that he was trying to get a prisoner released. But it's come out that the person that he was trying to get released was Luigi Mangione. Now, it has not been said that Mangione had anything to do with this. That he had anything to do with this, or there's any relationship between the man and Mangione. It is busy out here. This is, again, it's a port. There's a bunch of warehouses and stuff down here, but you had both prison facilities right here. So again, I was saying that it's not been said that this man was related to Luigi Mangione, and of course that has to be investigated. But on the man, he said he had a court order. He said he was an FBI agent, and he also said that he was carrying a backpack, which he said that he had weapons inside of the backpack. That rocked the correction officers here, the law enforcement officers here. They rocked it back on their feet. Then they started to become suspicious of the man. They took him into custody. They searched the bag, found out that he didn't have weapons. He had a barbecue fork or a grilling fork and a pizza cutter. That was the only items in the bag. Nothing that would harm anybody, seriously anyway. And that they then took him into custody and charged him with impersonating a federal officer. So that case is, man, this one is whipping around here. That case is being investigated. Of course, they're going to see if there are any ties to Mangione, or if this guy's just a nut job who wanted some kind of attention for or press from the media. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's give you a quick walk around the detention center right here. I'm surprised nobody came out to tell me stop filming. They can't because it's public property. I'm not one of those, what do you call those auditors people that go around messing with the police, but I'm going to show you the facility here. And this is it. These buildings here make up the prison system here at the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center. I'll show you the seal over here. There's the seal. You guys can see that. Woo-wee. Man, it is cold out here. So I love to keep on reporting this stuff to you guys, but I'm going to get out of here because it is too cold. And I'm going to, if you follow me, continue to follow me. And I'm going to be reporting on this case as it unfolds. I'll bring you more information as it unfolds. Follow me. If you're not following me, you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on my Instagram page and on my TikTok, which is also the GOAT TV, as I break more information about this case and other cases. I appreciate your support. I'm going to find me some shelter into my car, turn on the heat, and he's on down the road where I'm going back to Northrop Grumman today in Baltimore. It's pretty much Baltimore. It's Lithicum, Maryland, but it's just outside of the Baltimore airport. And we're going to be talking about the shooting that happened there. There was a homicide at the inside of the Northrop Grumman headquarters. If you know anything about, how you doing? Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman is, they make the B-2 bombers, the stealth bombers, the stealth planes, but they are located in Maryland, okay? Last night around about 3 p.m., there was a dispute inside one of the offices between two security guards. There were 3 security guards in the room, and one, I believe his name is Dylan, maybe Dylan Clark. I'm not sure the last name, Dallin or Dylan. He was one of the security guards, an armed security guard in there. Some of his colleagues, I don't know if he was a supervisor or a colleague, they were reprimanding him about his performance. There was possibly some type of performance evaluation, and they were reprimanding him, and he didn't like what was being said to him. He was under the impression it's the Metropolitan Detention Center there. Department of Prisons is what that says. So he didn't like what was being said to him. So during the exchange, they said that they got up to walk out, and as they got up to walk out, they heard, one of the guards heard a gunshot. He turned around and saw the security guard with his firearm out. He had shot the supervisor or the colleague in the head, one time in the head. The third security guard was able to wrestle the firearm from the security guard, the suspect, and to take him into custody. And so what I have heard is not a Northrop Grumman security guard, not a Northrop Grumman employee, but more or so that the security guard company was a contract security company, and Allied Universal was that contract security company. But I'll have more on that. I have more on that story from the Northrop Grumman headquarters in about 3 or 4 hours when I get back to DC. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and also follow me on my other social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok. It's the Security Czar with the Go TV. Peace, and I'm out. Thank you. Woo, it's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. And guys, if you got any questions for me, well, man, it's cold. If you got any questions for me, don't hesitate. It was too cold for me to try to answer the questions. Yeah, Dowling was fired. So Jake Johnson said Dowling was fired. Any jumpers? The slices of pizza in New York are, woo, man. Yeah, I like pizza. I'm gonna try to find. There's a heavy Latino community here. My Latin brown brothers and sisters. I love Colombian food. I love Salvadorian food. I love Colombian food. So I'm gonna try to find me a nice Colombian restaurant before I leave here. Yeah. So his name, the guy name was Dallin, and he got fired. I guess they were firing him. Somebody said it was a performance evaluation hearing that was going on, and he just didn't like. He thought he was going to be fired, and from that point they took the firearm. He withdrew the firearm and shot the supervisor or co-worker in the head. Now, what should have happened normally in a performance review, if you feel some kind of way, you think you're gonna fire somebody, it should always be, and we had to do this in the police department. I was in the Washington, D.C. Police Department. I retired as a captain. If we had an issue with an employee, you would have multiple supervisors in there. If you thought you were gonna suspend them, revoke them, or fire them, you would have the security guard or police officer take off their duty belt so you have access to the gun. So apparently there wasn't any policy that would have the security guard to do that, or if there was a policy, it wasn't known to the people who were engaging with the security guard, because I believe if they knew that it was the policy, that they would have followed the policy. But ultimately, where there is no policy and where there is a policy and the policy isn't followed, it has disastrous results, such as in this case. So I'm certain that there will be lawsuits filed. There will be, some kind of damage control that Northrop Grumman has to do. Again, it was not a Northrop Grumman employee. It was a Allied Universal security guard. It was a contract security guard company working for Northrop Grumman. Now, what does that do for the reputation of the security company? I don't know. What does it do for will Northrop Grumman even want to keep this security company on because of one bad apple? You never know. But I gotta ask you guys, if you had a company and you contracted a security guard company and that happened, would you keep the security guard contract company? Would you keep the contract with the company, or would you terminate them and try to find somebody else? This is just a good question, man. We're living in a really, really crazy world. RERRA99, thank you. I appreciate that. What business is this? And is that in Virginia? I'm not reading on listening. Maybe not at first. I suspend them. Well, I don't know, man. It's just really because at RERA, I guess I'm saying that right. RERA, maybe not. She said, they said maybe not. They would suspend them. I don't know if you can suspend them, right? Because you're dealing with as a company, you're the company that hired the security company. Now, you have to think about how your employees are perceiving the rest of the security company. So it's really damage control for you, reputation control for you, and are your employees feeling safe with the security guard company? Or they're thinking, hey, we just need to get somebody else? Because ultimately, you can have employees that work for the company, not the security company, but the actual corporation that they're working for, that decide, listen, man, this is not a safe place, and I'm gonna have to go find somewhere else to work at. So those are the things that that you have to think about. And then also for the corporation, if I'm a shareholder in Northrop Grumman, that also messes up their reputation, because stockholders or shareholders, if you invest, like, hey, I need to pull my money up out of this camp. And that happens often in cases like this. So, again, we're living in very interesting times. Who knows what set that guy off? Was he on some type of drugs? Was he's just a problem employee? Did they have they said they were doing a performance evaluation. So did they have a performance evaluation system? Did they notice things? Was it just this day? Was it a totality of things that have happened over time? Did somebody report him? Was he on drugs? Was he an alcoholic? Did they smell liquor on his breath? Was he late? You got to go through all of those things. And, and also, was there a union? Does Allied Universal at that facility have a union? So you got to go through all those things to figure out, like, what happened there. And not only what happened, because we can Monday morning quarterback what happened all day long, but in each case, even with this UnitedHealthcare CEO thing that I'm talking about with Luigi Mangione, from every mistake, there has to be improvement. What did we learn from our mistake, and how do we get better? How do we prevent this in the future? Now, there's no way you can absolutely prevent anything. You can mitigate things, which means to reduce things, or, you can put stop gates in where you can start to see patterns with people, and that the reporting system and that you start to get supervision involved, that you start having performance improvement plans, versus when you're calling somebody into the office and they had a bunch of problems and nobody said anything until it's well boiled over. But you have performance improvements and noticing things and teaching your employees how to report things on people without pretty much snitching, but how to do it in a progressive way that, it keeps the employees engaged, and also keep the people who may be affected by the employee's conduct safe. So let me look at a couple of more of these comments, and guys, I'm going to jump off and find me something to eat. Y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate it. All right. I remember back in the 80s in Roanoke, where I worked for a singer firm, a pissed off employee shot the place up. Yeah, back in the 80s, they used to call that going postal, Linda. Yeah, that's what your next comments. That was after the postal service went wacko. Exactly. Pretty much having a team is like having little babies. You can expect them to know everything. Yep, you're right. It is like having a baby. And so before I really focused on what I do now in executive protection, I've always done that, but I used to do it on the celebrity and entertainer side. But as I grew in my business, I started to realize that it was a baby setting job for celebrities and entertainers and athletes. It's like little kids that you have to manage. And while we're here at the Metropolitan Detention Center, this is where P. Diddy is, right? I actually covered that trial too. And, you hear the things that they were saying. I actually heard what they were saying, but as a security provider for entertainers, once upon a time, I actually experienced the things that they were saying, like 18-hour days, right? So when you're working with somebody who's on cocaine, methamphetamine, Molly, they on, all of this stuff. They on drugs all day, stuff that keep them up for 36 hours, 3 days straight. And as a security provider, you're on coffee, Red Bull, and Celsius. And, you can't compete with somebody who can stay up for 3 days in a row. At best, you can get 18 hours, maybe a 24-hour stretch, right? But at some point, that wears you out. And I realized that I was really managing a whole lot of problems, because just because people are popular or entertainers or celebrities don't mean that they're like superhuman or anything like that. They're regular people just like you and I. They have family problems, personal problems, bad habits, bad character, and a whole bunch of other things. And so I realized that really early on. I haven't done work with an entertainer in any better. They have their set of problems too. But I focus on government leaders, world leaders, political leaders, and corporate executives. And that's not a babysitting job for me. Most of the time they go do their business, they go to their dinners, they go to their meetings, they go to their hotel and go to sleep. But before I started doing that, I used to have security guards, right? And security guards are a big babysitting job, right? They really are. And I got tired of managing people. And then when COVID came, it really came to a head because everybody was getting free money and the government was giving them more money than security companies were paying, and people stopped coming to work. And so I always like to say, for my clients, whether it be a retail establishment, apartment, residential client, or it be a corporate executive, world leader, politician, or even a celebrity. Not only am I protecting my clients, I'm also protecting my brand and my reputation that I built over 30 years in this security business. So, you know, I honestly wouldn't take a security guard contract. Now, if I did, it would have to be in a high-end residential area, luxury condo, somewhere like that where I can hire older, mature people, where I can pay them very well and that they're self-managed. Other than that, I want no parts of running a security guard company. There's a place for everybody. There's a lane for everybody in this business, and not to say that there's good money in security guard business, but I could just say at this point in my career, where I'm looking forward to exiting out in the next 2 or 3 years, I'm bringing on a new president of my company. In 3 years, I'm going to promote him to CEO. I'm going to step out as the chairman of the board. I'm going to continue to run the MVP School of Executive Protection, but I plan on being retired in an island where the weather's not cold like it is here in Brooklyn, and living my best life, seeing my grandchildren, swimming in blue water and walking on white sand, riding a Peloton, eating good food, going fishing, and just enjoying my life. So if that, that's my plan for all of this. And maybe I'll continue to create content because I've made a pretty good niche in it. And man, my phone is blowing up. I made a pretty good niche in it, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. All right, so if you guys got any questions, if you don't have any questions for me, I'm going to jump off and find some Colombian food. If you're a New Yorker and you're watching this and you know where some good Colombian food is, drop it in the comments. I'm going to go roll up on them. I've documented all my complaints of Waffle House through my direct line and corporate HR. Yeah, for sure. That's all good. Are you a professional reporter? I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. I'm in Arizona right now. Or maybe you were security. Cool. No, I am actually a security executive. I run MVP. The name of my company is MVP Worldwide Protection. I'm based out of Washington, D.C. Right now, I have about 65 full-time employees. We focus on protecting world leaders and corporate executives. And the corporate executives that we primarily protect are Fortune 500 companies, and we have a lot of corporate executives in the top Fortune 50 500 companies. And again, I'm based out of Washington, D.C., so we work a lot with Congress, senators, the House of Representatives, and members from the House of Representatives, and just pretty much anybody who comes to D.C. who is a high-level VIP, ultra-high net worth client. Those are the people we work with. And then I found that doing content is pretty cool. I make pretty good money on YouTube. I used to make money on Instagram. Instagram doesn't pay as much. TikTok doesn't pay as much, but YouTube really sends the checks in. So I started getting to content creation, and I really like it. It's something that I enjoy. It doesn't feel like work. So could I be a reporter? Probably so. Here in New York, since I'm covering the Luigi Mangione trial, I am applying for my press pass, so that would kind of officially make me a reporter. I just wouldn't work for anybody. I haven't worked for anybody in 20 years since I retired from the police department. I've been self-employed, so that's my goal for life. Y'all, I do love you. Linda, I'm going to read your last comment. I'm going to jump off. I love the kind of stuff and profiling. I was born in D.C. My mother actually worked for the FBI and the fingerprinting back. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Linda, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for always following, and thanks for always commenting. It always brings me joy to see you when you're on. You guys have any questions, you have any stories, feel free to follow me, subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment, all of that good stuff that they say, smash that notification button, all of that good stuff they say. Please do that for me. But if you want to connect with me directly, there's a link in my Discord where you can message me directly. Also, follow me on Instagram where you also can DM me. I answer to everybody. I follow everybody back personally. I don't have a bot or assistant or anybody that's doing that. I like to stay engaged with my audience. So if you have any questions, any videos that you want me to review, just let me know, chime in, and I promise you that if you follow me, I'll follow you back. So I would say this though, I don't follow everybody back. I follow people that I know who I'm following back. So if you say you go to my Instagram or TikTok and you follow me, it's the same to Go TV on everything. If you follow me, say, hey, I'm such and such from YouTube. I watched your video. I'm following you. And then that way I'll know to follow you back. Okay. Thanks, guys. Again, I appreciate you. I love you. Talk to you soon. I'll be on tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm just going to be regurgitating some of the things I talked about today in the Luigi Mangione case. I'm going to be talking about the incident at Northrop Grumman as well. Okay. Thanks, guys. Peace. I'm out.